Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimunaju Fadera. In the headlines tonight, Gambia joins the rest of the world to mark International Women's Day. GDC elects Kande flag bearer for 2021. Malamin Sise in hot seat as he faced TRRC today. Hajibani Kosisaho points to bring electricity to Sare Alpha. Makkah's Al Medina Center holds second graduation. Mohammed FCLA launches 1.5 million light project in URR. On the international scene, International Women's Day mark amid pandemic. Saudi Arabia retaliates after Houthi attacked on energy facilities. Alarming U.S. over number of women driven out to work amid pandemic. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in details. As the Gambia joins the rest of the globe to commemorate the International Women's Day, an award-winning actress, journalist and women's rights activist has called for a greater participation of women in shaping the destiny of the country. Mariam Okoli told the Star TV that though Gambian women have significantly contributed and continue to contribute to the socio-economy and political advancement of the country, more needs to be done to break the proverbial glass ceiling. She has been talking to our very own Awasane. Let's take a listen.
But still, more needs to be done. Inclusive 100% is what we want. We don't just want to be given titles and positions just for the sake of, okay, we're empowering women by employing them or giving them positions. We want to own those positions. We want to manifest what we can do independently without being controlled, without being put in a corner where you're just taking commands and implementing them. Allow us to initiate our ideas, what we want. Let our positions be held by us and let the work be implemented by us independently. Needs to come out. We need to believe in ourselves, and we as women need to start empowering each other to take up these roles. Let's begin to believe in ourselves. Let's not doubt that women cannot do it. Most times, I mean, a good example is during the election when a female candidate came out. Most women were doubtful. They were like, nakala jigéen di muna nekkee president. How can a woman be a president in this country? I think all these stereotypes needs to go away. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to empower and support each other and take up these positions, take up these roles, because we can do it. We are knowledgeable, we are smart, we are great leaders, we are change makers, and we play a very significant role in all aspects of life. So let's go all out for it. In any country or anywhere in the world where you have women taking up leadership roles, they manifest up to standard. They manifest in a professional way in our institutions, in our homes, anywhere you go. It's a great example to tell you that women can lead, that women have the power and the knowledge and the strength to be good leaders. All we have is to support one another. It's enough. We've done enough to support our men. We've carried the flags for them. We've been drumming and clapping for them. We've been cooking, mobilizing, doing all logistics for men. Let's do it for ourselves and see how much difference we are going to make.
It was a highly charged political weekend as NRP, GDC, PDOIS and GAP convened their respective congresses with less than a year to go before Gambians return to the polls to choose their president. Meanwhile, in Vilcama, the APRC Women's Wing on Saturday organized an act-taking political rally in the regional capital. The PDOIS also gathered delegates in Serekunda as the party held its congress on Saturday. In Sanjal, in the North Bank region, NRP over the weekend elected its executives in Sanjal. In Farafenni, meantime, a moderately large crowd of GDC supporters turned out to take part in the party's congress. The GDC unanimously endorsed Mama Kande as its leader and torchbearer for the December general election. Maria Madam has more.
In addressing his supporters at the Farafenni Congress, Mama Kande spoke on a wide range of issues revolving around security, economy, agriculture, health, foreign domination of the fishing sector, the timber trade, among others. Early this year, reports have emerged that ECOMIC will be replaced by a police intervention force at the end of their current mandate this year. But Mama Kande told GDC supporters that the party does not approve of such a move because the Gambia has sufficient policemen and women as well as youths that could join the force to protect the country. Kande wondered why, in his opinion, there is no longer guarantee for security in the country despite the presence of ECOMIC and Senegalese forces in the country. He said the current worsening security situation in the Gambia is unprecedented. Kande said there is no lack of peace in the Gambia. Whilst expressing gratitude to the ECOMIC forces and West African leaders, he pointed out that there are other countries more deserving of ECOMIC intervention. According to the GDC leader, the Gambia does not need a police intervention force. He called for everything to that effect, saying there would be no foreign police intervention in the country. He challenged the media and the National Assembly to dig deep into the motives for the idea of bringing foreign police into the country. Kande told his supporters that the destiny of the country lies in the hands of the people, and if they mortgage the country, the repercussions will be there to be felt across all sectors. Turning to the fifth palaver in the urban Gambia, the GDC flag bearer said it was obvious the Gambia's marine resources have been sold off. On timber trade, Kande said he was of the opinion that seizing timber from businessmen was wrong. If the Gambia and Senegal government are serious about stopping the illegal timber trade, he went on, they should take the bull by the horn by devising better control measures. He added that the Gambia and Senegal are related, but that there must be respect for each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity. To Kande, victory for the GDC in 2021 is a foregone conclusion. Kande spoke about his perception of corruption and misappropriation of public funds. He wondered whether some people are taking lessons from the Anti-Corruption Commission set up to prop Jammeh's financial dealings. Kande meanwhile thanked the GDC for reporting confidence in him and those elected into the party's executive body. He said the change heralded in 2016 is a lost opportunity.
Gambians are totally disappointed with the change that we have. This is not the change we wanted. And I am telling Gambians to have more courage in themselves. The country is yours. The country belongs to you, and nobody here will come and help us develop our country or effect a change without our own contribution towards socio-economic development, and of course to make sure that there is effect change and a change for better Gambia.
Kande promised he would do his utmost to make Gambia better for everyone, saying the country made a mistake in voting in the current administration.
We have made a mistake of electing the current administration.
Maria Madam reporting for Star TV News.
A retired senior police officer, Malamin Cisse, who was severally mentioned by the TRRC, witnessed about his involvement in the investigation of some murdered West African nationals. Among others, today testified before the TRRC. Dado Cham has been monitoring today's proceedings, and she filed in this report.
Malamin Cisse on Monday appeared before the TRRC to give accounts on the foiled 2006 coup, the 56 West African migrants, and the slain two African brothers, Mahmoud Cisse and Ibu Job. In his testimony, Cisse told the commission that he was informed by Usman Sonko of the constitution of a panel to investigate the 2006 abortive coup. Cisse told the commission how the prompt was carried out and the involvement of junglers in it.
I presume they might have known him because if a person is brought before you, and actually when he was living there, I mean, you can see fresh wound on him. And you will establish that actually the person has undergone either a torture or certain malpractices.
So was this a known fact or a presumed fact?
It's a known fact.
To all members of the panel?
Yeah, because I can attest to that.
What would you say to the suggestion by a member of the panel that he did not know that these people were being tortured before they were brought to the panel?
All what I can testify here is that all those present in that panel, I mean, to my belief, that they are aware of this alleged torture.
The witness denied taking part in any ill treatment of suspect, but admitted responsibility for torture because, according to him, he knew the process was fluid and did not do anything about it. He explained that he could not do much as his authorities were busy trying to please former President Jammeh. Cisse named those he believed should be held to account as far as the investigation into the coup was concerned.
He knew there was some violation going on. And the reports reached to him. So he should order immediate stop of everything. If he continues, this thing is persisting. It's a cross violation of human rights on his side.
So are you saying that Yaya Jammeh violated the rights of Bunja Dabo, Wasa Kamara, Yaya Dabo, Per Mendi, Ali Job, and the many others who are unmentioned, who went through this panel and were tortured?
Silang ilafta min fala wolo ya jamme wole nyi molu la nyanto tinya wolo Bunja Dabo, Wasa Kamara, and wo mol be mi alon ko funtuta panelo nyatile ngola ya jamme le la nyanto tinya.
Yes, he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's the head of the state.
But not only that, he sent the soldiers that carried out the torture.
These are the junglers. They are also part of this violation.
Sitting continues tomorrow. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Dado Cham.
The dream of business tycoon Haji Baniko Sisaho to bring electricity supply to his village of Sare Alpha in the Upper River region has come yet another step closer as the village could get its first electricity supply this year. Haji Baniko Sisaho on Saturday visited Sare Alpha to see for himself the progress of the village's electrification project that he spearheads. Modu Elbaji has more.
The business tycoon and his delegation on Saturday received a rousing welcome in Sare Alpha as people mounted on horses and motorbikes, students, women, men, cultural groups and respected members of the community and beyond came out to celebrate their journey to accessing electricity supply. Since independence, the people of Sare Alpha have never benefited from the electricity supply from the national grid. The village electricity poverty has long remained Haji Baniko Sisaho's concern and preoccupation, and he has been turning every stone to light up the community. As Sare Alpha gathered on Saturday to celebrate the unprecedented development, Sisoko used the opportunity to spread the gospel of unity among the villagers of Sare Alpha and the communities around it. He advised the communities to shun antagonizing each other based on ethnicity and language. adding that it was as a result of the harmony in Sare Alpha that they are now counting their gains in development.
wada goddo jaggo hoore mum min ko maccudo walla jaga hoore ma ka baylo walla odo jaga hoore mum ko garanki walla jaga hoore mum ko gawlo enen dum ala to der saare do jaggondiren wonen hunde nene goto baba goto ande wonde nafa saare ne ko dum don tan wawata nafude to yeso nafa saare ne ko dum way nafude tanira e meden e bibbe meden tayi saare ne yotti ko tembo hande.
Let's remain kind-hearted, stay united and work collaboratively for the advancement of our villages. Let's put aside the issue of caste system. I love this village deeply in my heart, and my preoccupation is ensuring that Sare Alpha enjoys the development it requires. You will start enjoying electricity supply in your community soon, and I appeal to you to be patient as more development are in the pipeline.
Various speakers at the ceremony, including village elders, were full of praises for HB Susoho as they described his contribution to this ceremony as both commendable and relevant. Omar Kante spoke on behalf of Sare Alpha youths, and he expressed gratitude and appreciation to Haji Baniko Susoho for his instrumentality in the provision of electricity for the village.
We need this electricity for in this village here, Sare Alpha, because it's very important for us. Because like today, you will see there is very hot. No light here. It's very difficult for our village here. We need the light here, right? Before the Ramadan, we need that electricity here because it's very important for us. Yes, I need.
Madu Kurubali, a native of Sare Alpha, pointed out that the villagers have many business ideas, but the initiatives could not come to fruition because lack of electricity. He is optimistic that the arrival of electricity in the village will promote business development in the settlement and allow people to succeed in their own backyards. Meanwhile, once completed, the Haji Baniko Susoho-led electrification drive is expected to provide numerous opportunities for the community of Sare Alpha, especially in youth development. It is also hoped that the project will significantly reduce rural-urban drift. For Star TV, I am Modu El Baji.
Markaz Al Medina Quranic Memorization Center over the weekend held its second graduation ceremony for 5 students after memorizing the Quran. Yamunda Okoka was at the ceremony and she prepared this report read in our studios by Jacqueline Coley.
Markaz Al Medina for Quranic Memorization Center with learning Al Hadiths and English is an Islamic school at Sanchaba focusing on the memorization of the Quran, teaching Hadiths and the English language. The center over the weekend organized a graduation ceremony for 5 students after successfully completing their course of studies there. Speaking on the occasion, the proprietor of the school, Basir Rusila, described the event as a dream come true. He implored parents to allow their children to seek deeper knowledge of Islam as future leaders.
What I would like to emphasize to parents is let them allow their children learn and memorize the Quran, because it's a precondition for the development of the country. An uneducated society cannot advance. Deeper Quranic knowledge is vital for children as leaders in the making.
He advised the graduates to share with others the knowledge acquired, quoting a hadith that says, "The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teach it to others." Alati Jallo, one of the graduating students, expressed gratitude to his parents and the center for enabling him to actualize his dream. Jacqueline Coley, reporting for Star TV News.
Meanwhile, as part of efforts in complementing government's efforts in eliminating darkness in the country, a native of Baniko Keguro village, Mohammed F. Silla, has also rolled out a 1.5 million solar project of 7 communities in the Upper River region. The project was launched in a colorful weekend ceremony held in the Baniko Keguro village. The solar lighting project is expected to significantly improve the quality of life of the people of the 7 communities, as well as to reduce the crime rate in the area. Speaking at the launching, the governor of Upper River region, Sambaba, made a clarion call on natives of URR to follow the footsteps of Mohammed F. Silla in complementing government's efforts, especially in community development.
the electrification of what we call Banico, and even he has also the hope and aspiration to do it in the extra seven what we call villages. This is what we want. I always say government, in doing things sometimes it is slow and sometimes they don't reach to everybody at once. But if you have people in communities that are willing and they have the money to invest for their people, why can't they do it? And this is exactly what Mohammed F. Silla did yesterday in what we call in Banico Kekoro, and I am calling on everybody in Upper River region to emulate that son of Upper River region, that son of Banico Kekoro, so that at the end of the day, the development will also expand. So that whenever government comes, it's just a matter of picking it from where they stop and try to expand it, and then at the end of the day, everybody enjoys. This is what we want. We know light is energy, energy is life, and this is what he has provided for the people. Until then, when NAWEC also comes in, then they now complete the rest part of it, then everybody in that particular area keeps on enjoying what we call a greater electricity. But it was a wonderful thing. Thank you so very much.
The brain behind the project, Mohammed F. Silla, highlighted that charity starts at home, hence his intervention to light up his community and the surrounding settlements. The National Assembly member for Basse, Mohamed Magasi, thanked Mohammed Silla for his intervention, describing it as a great boost to President Barrow's desire to end energy poverty in the country.
The Constitution says any public pronouncement of the President is a policy. So every good citizen of the land, you should contribute to the achievements or the implementation of that policy. That's what Mohammed Silla has understood. Banico being his own community, Banico being in darkness since inception, decided to contribute his quota to the better implementation of this policy, Barrow Bugul Lendem, in providing solar street lights in his community, which we have launched yesterday. I believe this will go a long way in benefiting the community, because the importance of lights cannot be overemphasized. You cannot ensure security in a community if there's no lights. You cannot ensure the free movement of people within a community if there's no lights. You cannot get people away from or free of threats if there's no lights.
Meanwhile, Mr. Suleiman Karaga, the technician at the head of the lightning project, briefed Silla and delegation on the details of the initiatives and the many benefits it will bring to the communities.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll be back with international news after the short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulanding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Welcome back. After the short break, we now look at the news beyond our borders. This year, International Women's Day is being celebrated and observed at a time when the world is confronting staggering health and economic crisis. The coronavirus pandemic has had a disproportionate effect on women worldwide, and the United Nations says its consequences will far outlast the outbreak. Al Jazeera's Priyanka Gupta reports.
This 3-meter fence was meant to guard Mexico's presidential palace from protesters on Women's Day. Instead, it's become a towering symbol of the violence women here face. These are the names of those who have been murdered because of their gender. Last year, 939 were killed. Between 2015 and 2020, the number of women who have died for this reason increased by nearly 130%.
Today we come to give a voice to these women who are no longer here. Today we come to write their names, to remember them so that they are never forgotten and that justice is done for them.
In Pakistan, activists rallied demanding shelters to protect women from abuse. Around the world, aid agencies say the pandemic and lockdowns have led to more cases of domestic violence.
Women, of course, during lockdowns have been confined at home. So in the case of women who are living with an abuser, they are trapped with that person. And then secondly, of course, it's been much harder for women to access services. So some services have had to close down during lockdown periods or have simply not been physically accessible for women. And we've also seen a very, very concerning trend of increased violence online.
In France, activists rallied against existing inequalities made worse by the pandemic. In the Philippines, protesters blamed their government for a rise in unemployment and poverty. The pandemic and government restrictions have made women more economically vulnerable and added to their invisible burden of unpaid domestic and care work.
Our estimates show that across all regions, women have become more likely than men to become economically inactive. Our estimates also show that women's wages have been hit harder. So women's total wage bill in the countries where we have data have fallen by 8.1% according to our estimates, compared with 5.4% for men.
Women have been on the front lines in the fight against COVID-19. 70% of health workers and first responders are women, yet the gender pay gap sits at 28%. The UN says an equal future is within reach if everyone chips in. But for now, it's largely women who are bearing the unequal cost of the pandemic. Priyanka Gupta, Al Jazeera.
Saudi Arabia is promising to take all necessary measures to protect itself after Yemen's Houthi rebels launch another attack on its energy facilities. The latest escalation comes at a time when the U.S. administration has been actively trying to restart peace talks among feuding factions. Al Jazeera's Hashim Al-Habara reports.
Soldiers loyal to Yemen's UN-recognized President Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi are facing their biggest challenge in years, preventing Houthi fighters from taking control of Marib. The province east of the capital Sana'a is rich in oil and natural gas. It's also Hadi's last chance to regain control of Yemen. But the Houthis have been sending reinforcements. They know the Battle of Marib could decide the future of the country. Further south, fighting has intensified around the city of Taiz. Government forces have launched an offensive to retake military bases controlled by elite army units loyal to the Houthis. The Iran-backed rebels hold ground in Taiz to prevent government forces from advancing towards Marib in the north. Violence is spiraling out of control. While that's going on, the Houthis have launched an attack targeting oil facilities in Saudi Arabia.
The artillery and drone divisions were able to conduct a wide offensive in the depths of Saudi Arabia with 14 drones and 8 ballistic missiles. We targeted Aramco in Ras Al Tanura port and other military facilities in Dammam. More military sites were targeted in Asira and Jazan, and the strike was precise.
But Saudi Arabia says its air defenses intercepted the drone and missile attacks. Retaliation was swift. The Saudi coalition launched airstrikes in the capital Sana'a. The escalation comes as the US envoy to Yemen is visiting the region to rally support for an end to the conflict. Timothy Lenderking is hoping to bring all the parties and give diplomacy a chance. But the last breakthrough in Yemen was short-lived. In 2019, the UN convinced the warring factions to agree on a ceasefire, a prisoner swap and political talks on the future of the country. Weeks later, the deal collapsed and fighting has not stopped ever since. Hashim Al-Bara, Al Jazeera.
Well, the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has called the alarming number of women being driven out of work during the coronavirus pandemic a national emergency. She stressed the issue could affect economic recovery. Al Jazeera's Christine Salome takes a closer look.
Linda Hammis honed her management skills as the chief operating officer of a multinational consulting firm.
I want you to put my name here and Valentina's name there.
But these days she's spending more time in her backyard than the boardroom. She left the job in the early days of the pandemic to care for her children, now 4 and 6.
My mindset was how to patch together enough hours in the day. So I would get up early and I would start working around 6 or 6:30 sometimes.
She became one of 2.5 million women to leave the workforce in the last 12 months, compared to 1 million men.
My husband and I had to make a choice, right? You know, which one of us is going to be at home with the girls and who's not. There was no other choice.
When schools and care facilities closed, women began leaving the workforce in droves. Some, like those in the service industry who were laid off, had no choice. Others did what they thought was best for their family. But the impact on the economy has been profound, what some have labeled a she-cession. Nicole Mason, chief executive of the Institute for Women's Policy Research, came up with the term.
Women of color have been disproportionately impacted, mainly because they're overrepresented in service sectors.
While men and women are now returning to the workforce, Mason says many women are working fewer hours for less pay, while others have stopped looking for jobs altogether.
When we talk about working women and mothers in general who are often responsible for the majority of caretaking responsibilities in families, the lack of childcare and school closures have had a devastating impact on working women.
With only about a quarter of the nation's children in school full-time, the worry is gains made by women in the workforce will be lost.
Our peers, our competitors, advanced economy democracies have a more built-up function for childcare, and they wind up having substantially higher labor force participation among women.
Hammis is hoping the last year will inspire systemic changes, like flexible work schedules and better childcare options.
It's really an economic issue, it's a societal issue, it's a business issue. It's not a women's issue.
She herself is exploring some promising new job opportunities, but like many mothers, is waiting to commit to anything full-time. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New York.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. Gambia joins the rest of the world to mark International Women's Day. GDC elects Kande flag bearer for 2021. Malamin Cisse in hot seat as he faced TRRC today. Haji Baniko Sissaho points to bring electricity to Sare Alpha. Makkah's Al Medina Center holds second graduation. Mohammed FC launches 1.5 million light project in URR. On the international scene, International Women's Day marked amid pandemic. Saudi Arabia retaliates after Houthi attacked on energy facilities. Alarming U.S. over number of women driven out to work amid pandemic. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of our wonderful programs. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching. On behalf of Star TV and I, we wish all women in the country and outside a happy Women's Day. Thanks for watching once more. Bye for now.